Welcome to the deep dive. You send us your reading list, and we pull out the key insights so you can get up to speed, quickly and effectively.
Yeah, we know you're looking for those aha moments, that clear structure without getting totally bogged down.
Exactly. You want to be well informed, and our job is, well, to guide you through the material, highlighting that core knowledge.
And today, it's a really interesting one. Smart cities and artificial intelligence. We're working from excerpts you shared from the book with that title.
Right. So we're going to unpack the big ideas. We'll kick things off with this core concept the book presents, convergence, this idea of everything getting interconnected.
hmm And then we'll look at how the book sees cities almost like living things with their own kind of operating systems.
From there, it's into the tech, the infrastructure making these smart cities possible. And, finally, what does it all mean for the economy, for society?
It's pretty fascinating stuff. You might actually be surprised just how deeply tangled urban life and tech are becoming, at least according to these sources.
Ready to jump in? Okay, let's unpack this.
So the central idea, convergence, it's really the bedrock of the whole book. It's arguing we're seeing this powerful coming together of nature, people, and technology.
Leading to a new stage of development, they say.
A new evolutionary stage, even.
That's a pretty big claim. And they use an example we all get immediately, the smartphone.
Right. Think about it, separate camera, phone, music player, map. Now it's all just converged right there in your pocket.
One device.
And the book's point is that this isn't just gadgets, it's happening at the city scale, too. Urban systems getting linked up in new ways.
Now, it's not just presented as inevitable, is it? The book sort of offers a choice, contrasting hypermodernism and metamodernism. Maybe we should dig into that a little.
Yeah, that's important. Hypermodernism, as they describe it, is kind of the default setting now. Techno-social culture driven by consumption, financial markets.
Almost technology just for its own sake.
Sort of, yeah. But the alternative, metamodernism, that's where they see more promise. It's presented as this way for technology and like a real ecological understanding to actually cooperate.
Okay, so being really conscious of the downsides of
Mhm.
just relentless consumption.
hmm Whereas hypermodernism chases the next tech thing, metamodernism says, hold on, true progress, especially in smart cities, means aligning tech with ecological health. It's a shift in priorities.
A fundamental shift, really.
Exactly. And the book pushes for this metamodern turn in smart city thinking. So it's not just about efficiency boost, it's about, balance, well-being, optimization, getting all those things working together through this interconnectedness.
So from convergence, the book makes this really interesting analogy. The city as a living organism.
Yeah, it's not just bricks and mortar, it's a system,
Yes.
interconnected parts, like organs in a body.
And they take this further, introducing the idea of a city OS.
Right. But think of City OS less like, Windows for your city.
All right.
More like the underlying principles, the systems that let traffic lights talk to the energy grid, powered by data and AI. It's the concept of integrated management.
Sounds incredibly complex, though. Bringing all that data together. And they mentioned this challenge, right? Referencing Taniguchi.
Uh-huh. About how we use old metaphors like physical buildings to grasp these new digital things. It makes it hard.
Which leads to the problem of representing it all. How do you show these complex systems accurately? They bring up Tuft's work here.
Yeah, Tufte's ideas on visualizations that really embody the data, not just cram it into a familiar chart. And that's where AI-driven dynamic visualization comes in. It helps simulate complex patterns, in real time. It bridges that gap between just raw data and actual understanding.
It's almost like the city could develop its own, awareness, reacting, adapting constantly.
And that connects to self-regulating systems in nature. Our bodies do it, ecosystems do it, finding balance.
Which brings us to biomimicry.
Exactly. Learning from nature to design tech, like solar panels mimicking photosynthesis.
Or planes, borrowing ideas from bird flight, billions of years of R&D.
Right, and they apply this even to human anatomy, seeing the city as almost an extension of our own bodies. McLuhan and others explored similar ideas.
If everything's connected, this leads to collective intelligence.
Yeah, it's not just individual smarts, it's the wisdom that emerges when a group, people, knowledge, tech works together. The city thrives on contributions from informed citizens.
Like a flock of birds, sort of. No leader, but they move together perfectly.
That's a good analogy, harnessing everyone's insights plus the technology to solve problems better than any one person or system could alone. That's collective intelligence in this context.
Okay, so living city, connected systems.
Yeah.
Then they introduce city DNA. not actual DNA, obviously.
No, haha. It's the unique character of a city, its history, geography, economy, society, tech, all shaping how it works and evolves.
And this DNA affects how cities adopt tech, right? They have this smart city staircase roadmap.
Towards maturity, yeah. And a key principle is no isolated advances. You can't just upgrade the traffic lights and ignore everything
They
else.
also warn against leapfrogging too fast.
Right, trying to jump ahead before the foundations are there. Though they do acknowledge that sometimes, maybe for newer cities, dynamic overtake, skipping older tech, or even an alternative bypass using unconventional solutions can work.
And they categorize these different paths with these 6 degrees of technological adoption
From non-intervention, very organic, market-driven adoption.
to linear, step by step.
Then integration, actively bringing tech in, dynamic overtake, jumping straight to cutting-edge stuff, alternative bypass, using maybe lower tech but clever solutions, and finally, hyper-accelerated future vision, like in planned cities.
And they give examples, these city DNA narratives. Let's look at a few. Beijing.
Beijing, top-down, hyper-accelerated, very government-led, huge push on tech, and you see that insane adoption of digital life to everything.
So it shows that top-down can work, but it needs to actually meet. Citizen needs to really stick.
Exactly. Then there's New York City, almost the opposite.
Bottom-up non-intervention, driven by the private sector, market forces.
And the book suggests its long history means lots of complex legacy systems, physical and digital, that can make big citywide changes harder. Tech there often focuses on immediate ROI, not necessarily optimizing the whole city.
So even being an early leader can create challenges down the line. Lots of existing stuff to navigate.
Right. Then Dubai, top down again, but dynamic overtake.
Very ambitious, leader-driven, iconic buildings, smart tech integrated from the start. Tech plays a supporting role in its rapid transformation.
It shows how a clear vision can drive fast tech adoption, especially in newer urban areas.
What about Masdar?
Masdar is presented as top-down alternative bypass, planned from scratch as an R&D hub for sustainable tech, aiming for zero carbon, a living lab, basically.
So a focused greenfield approach lets them try radical things without old systems getting in the way. But scaling that to existing cities is the question.
For sure. And lastly, Neom, the Saudi future city. Still being built, but hyper-ambitious. Top-down, built on renewables, biotech, advanced manufacturing.
Showcasing the potential of designing with tech from day one, but obviously huge logistical and social hurdles to overcome.
Definitely. So yeah, city DNA really shapes the path each city takes.
Okay, so after the DNA, the book lays out the 6 dimensions of the city. What are these layers?
Right. It's a framework to understand the different components. There's the physical dimension, city infrastructure, human governance, digital infrastructure, and finally, ubiquitous technology.
And technology is increasingly weaving through all of them, right? Becoming fundamental to the urban experience.
Totally. Take digital infrastructure, that's the networks, the hardware, server, sensors, the software platforms. And they also mention urban media, how information flows and shapes the city's culture and identity.
And that last one, ubiquitous technology, sounds all-encompassing.
It kind of is. It points to a future where tech is so seamlessly blended with nature, design, everything. It's almost invisible, but always there, serving people, systems, the environment.
Okay, so dimensions lead us back to the Smart City Operating System, the OS. And they argue traditional OS thinking needs a major update.
Yeah, because of urban scale and tech advances.
Yeah.
And they introduced the Smart City Mandala to visualize this.
A mandala, like a target.
Sort of. Imagine rings. The center is the core goals, outer rings are the systems, stakeholders, all needing balance. It's just a visual map to keep the approach holistic, not just fixating on single tech bits. Help stakeholders get the complexity.
Makes sense, make it less abstract. And they talk about different OS behaviors. Top down, bottom up.
Hybrid approaches, even emergent systems shaped by AI. Lots of possibilities.
And underpinning all this, connectivity.
Absolutely essential. And they distinguish connectivity, the ability to exchange data from communication, the medium used. Connectivity is the bedrock for IoT, for all the data flow.
They even trace its history from rivers.
To copper wires, fiber optics, and now the electromagnetic spectrum for wireless.
And they use the human body, neural networks, as models again.
Yeah, looking at how energy and information flow in complex biological systems, which leads to the idea of the city itself as an interface.
An interface, how so?
Like a composite representation of its characteristics, linking its internal workings with the outside world, with its citizens.
Which brings in urban user experience, UUX, making interaction with the city consistent.
Well, positive. Across all touch points, yeah. And they mentioned gamification, too.
Using game design ideas.
To make interacting with city systems more engaging, maybe encourage positive actions, it all points towards a convergence urban interface, or CUI, a unified platform for delivering city functions.
Right, the actual functions. Mobility, environment, people, government, economy, living. 6 big ones.
And they use the multi-level perspective, MLP, to analyze the shifts in each, looking at history, challenges, future directions, always through that convergence lens.
So mobility converges towards what? Flexible options, on-demand stuff, AI-driven transport?
Exactly. Environment converges towards regenerative design, real sustainability.
People focuses on access to knowledge, collective intelligence. Maybe VR are helping there?
Potentially, yeah. Governance convergence is shaped by citizen engagement versus data use and privacy concerns.
Economy converges towards new models. Hybrid, maybe post-capitalist. Blockchain gets mentioned.
And this paradigm, 30-70-78 idea, the human-AI feedback loop in the economy.
And living converges towards personalized healthcare, AI improving well-being.
That's the gist. And across all of them, AI is highlighted as the key enabler.
Right. AI seems central. They quickly cover the types: narrow, general, strong AI, and then the specific AI capabilities needed.
Things like computer vision letting systems, natural language processing, understanding language, machine learning systems learning from data, predictive analytics forecasting, robotics automating tasks, all vital for handling city data.
And they stress edge and cloud computing too.
Yeah, processing data locally at the edge for speed, using the cloud for the heavy lifting and big storage. Both are critical.
So all this tech, data. What about the business side? New economic models.
They see huge market growth, trillions potentially, and industry convergence blurring lines between transport, energy, comms, focusing on integrated experiences, not just products.
They mentioned China using AI in education as a glimpse of the future.
Right, an example of an innovation-led economy. But they also warn about needing models beyond standard capitalism to tackle inequality, environmental issues.
So things like planetary accounting.
Yeah.
Factoring in ecological costs.
Yeah, and ideas from the P2P Foundation about decentralized networks. Plus, digital currencies, blockchain for transparency and security in transactions.
They talk about flow, too.
Yeah, aiming for more efficient, maybe more fulfilling interactions in business and society. Ultimately, they see more collaboration, more self-regulating economic systems emerging.
Wow. Okay, that was a lot. So quick recap. This deep dive into smart cities and AI, it really hammered home that idea of convergence is fundamental.
Yeah, and the city as a living system with its own DNA, its own kind of OS.
We look at the tech enabling it all, especially AI, cutting across all those different dimensions of the city.
And how that's reshaping business, potentially leading to new economic models. Hopefully that gives you a solid handle on this complex area, maybe sparked a few aha moments.
So here's something to think about. Of all these changes we've discussed, AI integration, sustainability drives, economic shifts, which one do you personally think will most fundamentally change your experience of city living in the years ahead?
Something to chew on. We definitely encourage you to explore the source material further. And just remember, smart cities are constantly evolving. It's an ongoing journey of learning. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.